Africa, 11.5 million square miles in extent, may well be said to be the continent of the future. On the west coast, once considered the white man's grave, is Nigeria, soon to become self-governing within the Commonwealth. Nigeria is divided into 3 regions. The largest, the northern, came under the protection of the British Crown as recently as 1900. It is a land old in history, where, as one might expect, the old ways die hard. Once camel trains left for the long trek across the Sahara to the Mediterranean. Today they bring goods of many kinds to the markets of Nigeria. An African market is more than just a place for buying and selling. It is the center of the community. Here people come to meet their friends, to be entertained, and to bargain for the necessities and luxuries of life. There are snake charmers to watch, an age-honored pastime which never seems to pall. In these markets, the products of the old native hand industries are very much in evidence. Ornamental glasswork from Bida, for instance, is prized by the ladies for its fragile beauty. For centuries, this ancient skill has been passed from generation to generation of craftsmen. True 20th century bottles today supply much of the raw material. But it in no way detracts from the quality which lies hidden in the loving care of those who all their lives have tended the fires and wrought with infinite patience the red-hot fragments of glass. Ornamental brasswork is another trade carried on in Bida, not to be confused with Bida in India, which is also famous for similar work. The reconciling of modern production methods with the older skills is one of the problems which is being solved by the northern region's government. It is mainly a problem of time and education. Many of the old village potters, for instance, know nothing of modern tools. Even the elementary wheel is unknown to them. For long centuries, they have fashioned round pots like this, without mechanical aids of any kind. Now, in order to keep alive and foster the making of fine pottery, the government has set up a training center at Abuja in the Niger province. Preference is given as students to the traditional native potters, and exhibitions of Abuja's work have been held in many world capitals. There are examples of it in the British Museum. Now, history again. This time in the dye pits of Kano, still used as they have been for centuries to produce the same color, a blue which has become almost a trademark of Africa. Many long lifetimes have been spent in dipping and re-dipping the material until the color becomes a part of it. Weaving is perhaps one of the most worldwide of cottage industries. As in other lands, every effort must be made to prevent it dying out completely, else the art of craftsmanship will soon be lost. But in a growing country, the older methods must give place to new ones. And here in Kaduna, a big new textile mill is in production. established by the Northern Region Development Corporation, together with a famous British firm, the workers are nearly all Nigerian. Modern industry and modern methods come easily to them. There is a great canvas and rubber shoe factory in Kano. Homegrown rubber from western Nigeria is used, and many thousands of pairs are turned out every month. The Northern Region now cans her own food. A tinned meal, that product peculiar to modern civilization, is growing in popularity as the speed of life increases. The trend is worldwide, and Nigeria is no exception. In every branch of industry, more modern methods are being employed to keep pace with the times, and that goes for fizzy, non-alcoholic drinks. Mechanized industry is rapidly becoming more and more a part of modern Nigeria. New plants are springing up everywhere. Everything from peppermint sweets, made and wrapped by the latest machinery, to luxury articles like cosmetics are being turned out by northern factories in ever-growing quantities. But groundnuts remain the greatest single industry of the region, supplying both home and export markets. Big new crushing mills extract the oil. The residue is used as cattle food, and most of it is exported to Britain. Groundnuts have been exported ever since the railway reached Kano in 1912, and nowadays over 27 million pounds worth go abroad annually. There are considerable tin reserves in the Jos area, the highest point of the region, and modern open-cast methods are used to mine it. Nigeria is also the world's largest producer of another mineral, columbite, which is used for steel hardening. Afterwards, as in British open-cast sites, the soil is put back and the land returned to agriculture. For agriculture is still the main occupation of the region's 18 million people, 2/3 of which depend on groundnut cultivation for their living. Other crops are grown on a smaller scale. Yams, for instance, are mainly for home consumption. Nowadays, great efforts are being made to increase the yield of rice. Cotton is another of the northern region's most profitable exports. But it's perhaps in the vast cattle areas that we can best see the old way of life, particularly that of the Fulani tribe, the traditional herdsmen of the north. Even in so ancient a pursuit, the administration has had to take a hand. Cattle diseases of many kinds are very prevalent, and a careful control of movement and preventative medicine are necessary if they are to be stamped out altogether. Control posts have been set up, and an inoculation service is readily available. Trypanosomiasis, or sleeping sickness, is the biggest destroyer of herds. The same disease attacks human beings as well, and the Ministry of Health operates special clinics for its prevention and cure. The people are also being taught how to control the infection carrier, the tsetse fly. Another scourge is age-old, leprosy. Today, nobody need die of leprosy if treatment begins early enough. Educating people to consider it just another illness, and the setting up of clinics like this, are being given maximum priority. Care is being taken to ensure a skilled staff for this ever-growing health service. There are training hospitals in Kano, Zaria, Jos, Katsina, and Makurdi, where nurses-to-be get practical experience in the operating theatres and wards. the northern region is very aware of the fact that better health for young and old alike is of the highest importance to Nigeria's progress. Education, too, is without doubt one of the keys to Nigeria's future. Here children are learning the principles of the Muslim religion in a typical Quranic school. The older children now learn their alphabet in primary schools. Already there are some 2,000 of them, catering for over 185,000 pupils.
A, B, C.
A over x minus 3 plus B over x minus 3 squared plus C over x.
Higher education is provided in the colleges. This one is at Zaria. Throughout the region, schools of many kinds covering many subjects have been opened. For the people are well aware that self-government will carry many responsibilities, and only a well-learned community can hope to make progress in single competition with other lands. Female education, too, is becoming more general, and girls now have the opportunity to learn a wide range of subjects previously denied to them. Science is no longer the prerogative of men, for girls as well will be needed as technicians. Already more and more jobs are being filled by Nigerians, which in the past they have not been fitted to undertake. Science, as applied to agriculture, is taught in the secondary schools. To train personnel for all levels of local government, there is an Institute of Administration. Part of the course is the holding of mock meetings for district and village councils, conducted, of course, in the Hausa language. The Institute plays an important part in the drive to Nigerianize the regional government. At present, the Executive Council governs the region. Here in Lugard Hall, Kaduna, a meeting is in progress, presided over by the governor and attended by the Premier and Cabinet.
Why is this legislation necessary when we already have two similar legislation, one of which was enacted this year?
Perhaps you care to explain that point, Premier.
Yes, sir. The Northern Regional Government does not raise loan directly other than from the Northern Regional Marketing Board. Our previous legislation did not give us power to raise loan from the Federation, and that is why this law is necessary.
The more local functions of government are carried out by councils. The natural ruler of the area presides. In this case, the Sultan of Sokoto. Again, the proceedings are in Hausa. As in Britain, the system is one of decentralization, with the various levels corresponding to the county, borough, town and parish councils, each with its own responsibility for various aspects of the administration. Here, for instance, is a district council in session. The members are nominated by popular vote in the villages and hamlets. Fine mosques bear witness to the devout faith of the majority. Unlike the other regions, the population of the north is predominantly Muslim, but complete religious toleration is enjoyed. Anyone may worship as their conscience guides and in the place of their choice. There are many Christians and many churches. Northern Nigeria is a land of tradition and pageantry, of strange instruments and sinuous dances. It is a land, too, where sport of all kinds is enjoyed to the full. To Western eyes, perhaps the rule seems strange, but it's all part of the fun in Nigeria. The north is the land of great horsemen. Whether on the polo field, on the wide plains, on the racecourse, one of the great festivals. Throughout the ages, the horse has been to northerners a means of sport, of living, and of pageantry. And nowhere can that be seen to better advantage than at this Sala at Katsina. The Emir rides in magnificent procession to the show, which is a smaller edition of the Durbar staged for Her Majesty the Queen. The climax is always the Jahi, the charge. This is the old Nigeria, as the horsemen paid tribute to their emir, symbolic of old undying traditions of loyalty and service. But above all, the Nigerians are a river people. Their history has been shaped and their country named by the waters which traverse the land. The Niger and its great tributary, the Benue, have through long ages been trade route and lifeline, as well as a means of competition and sport. There is nothing a Nigerian likes better than a regatta like this one at Pategi. Pageantry, too, has its place in river life. There can be no gayer sight than the parade of decorated craft. It is almost as if the people were paying tribute to the great rivers which have opened up their country. It's to youth that the future belongs. For all her long historic past, Nigeria is a young country, growing, even as a child grows towards maturity, to full nationhood within the British Commonwealth. Modern skills and modern thought are playing an increasing part in life, and the foundations have been well laid by other, older hands. The people of northern Nigeria face the future with confidence, knowing that with the natural resources of their land and by their own efforts, they can justify the proud title of Giant in the Sun.